South Florida, this is Headliners, only on CBS News Miami.
Hi there and welcome to Headliners. I'm Lauren Pastrana. A boater safety campaign is in the spotlight days after a teen girl was killed in a hit and run on the water. We're now hearing from a father who lost a loved one to a boating accident. He wants to raise awareness about safety at sea. CBS News Miami's Peter Dench joins us from Key Biscayne with his message.
Alex Alvarez is speaking out because he hopes another tragedy can be averted after Ella Adler lost her life. Alvarez's teenage son was killed in a boating accident 4 years ago in the Keys.
Just pay attention, be responsible, and if you're a parent of a young adult, or if your child has their own watercraft, you really have to be sure that he or she is ready for that next step.
Alex Alvarez makes that plea after the death of 15-year-old Ella Adler. His 18-year-old son Lucas died in February of 2020 when the boat he was in hit a channel marker near Isla Morada.
I would say basically everybody just has to really step up to the plate for the pain that all these families are enduring, a lifelong pain.
FWC says Ella Adler was wakeboarding when a boat driven by 78-year-old Carlos Alonso struck her and took off last Saturday. His boat has been seized.
If he was the person that was involved in this accident, and I want to be clear, we don't know that yet. If he was, he had absolutely no idea of his involvement.
Just hopefully and maybe these people that before they get behind of a wheel, they just have that sense of responsibility and obligation.
Alvarez joined 3 other foundations as they announced a new boater safety awareness campaign as they plan to meet with community leaders and students.
We're going to be going to local high schools and educating students on boating safety.
Miami-Dade Commissioner Raquel Regalado wants hit-and-run accidents on the water to be designated as a felony.
We're looking at mirroring the change that was made in the state statute for cars. I'm going to be bringing something to the Board of County Commissioners regarding an urging to see if we can do the same for boats.
Regalado has her own safety messages.
Obviously, we want people to be responsible. What the families want is for everyone that gets behind a vessel to be aware of their surroundings. People need to be conscious about where they're going, how fast they're going.
Once you get into the bay, all bets are off. Everybody's going everywhere and they're going all sorts of speeds.
I spoke with FWC Chairman Rodney Barreto. He told me there are no new developments in the investigation. He says they're still waiting for test results that were taken on the boat to come back from the lab, and he said that the boat owner is still cooperating with them. In Key Biscayne, Peter Dench, CBS News Miami.
A painful reminder of a tragic day in South Florida will soon be gone. A date has been set for the demolition of the 1200 building, the site of the Marjory Stoneman Douglas massacre. The Parkland school site where 17 people were killed is slated for demolition next month. Some say it should remain as a reminder and memorial, while others believe it should come down. CBS News Miami's Ted Scouten has the report.
Well, this is a very difficult one for families. While the 1200 building holds a lot of very painful memories, it also brought about a lot of change. As for the demolition, that begins after school lets out for the summer.
I'm glad that the building is finally going to come down.
Debbie Hickson's husband, Chris, was murdered in the 1200 building at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School. He's one of 17 people who were killed here 6 years ago. Now the building will be coming down. Demolition begins around June 17th.
My feeling about the building, the site of the Parkland school shooting coming down is mixed feelings.
Max Schachter's son Alex was murdered that day. Despite the pain, he and the other parents personally took lawmakers, police officers, the head of the FBI, even the vice president through the building. And it made a difference, like with Utah State Representative Ryan Wilcox.
Ryan spent 6 hours on Marjory Stoneman Douglas campus, took 20 pages of notes, and then took all the lessons learned and put it into a $100 million Utah school safety bill.
Debbie said those tours gave critical firsthand knowledge to those who can make a difference.
That told a story. It gave you an emotional feel that no one can explain to you. You have to see it for yourself and understand why it's important for some of those safety features, like real steel doors, doors that lock automatically.
Once it's down, the plan is to fill that space with a memorial that captures the spirit of those 17 souls.
Maybe it's a playing field or a place where music is, something with a water feature, but I don't want it to be a space that just sits there. I want it to have vibrant life because all of those people who were taken that day lived a really good life.
The superintendent says the idea is to work with families as well as the community to come up with the design for the new memorial. He hopes to have a plan in place by the end of the next school year. In Parkland, Ted Scout, CBS News Miami.
Former Parkland School Deputy Scot Peterson wants the Broward Sheriff's Office to pay his $250,000 legal bill. Last year, he was acquitted of all charges stemming from his actions during the shooting at MSD. He talked exclusively with CBS News Miami's Jim Barry about what's next.
Well, Scot Peterson tonight says he still wants to be reimbursed for his legal fees after being found not guilty last year of child neglect. And in his mind, BSO should foot the bill. On Wednesday, a Broward criminal court judge told Peterson that his effort to recollect his legal fees belongs in civil court. In a Zoom interview from his home in North Carolina, Peterson ripped into BSO's position that it should not be on the hook for his legal bills.
It's outrageous. It's totally outrageous. I'm entitled under Florida law for my former agency, the Broward Sheriff's Office, to pay my fees because I did absolutely nothing wrong during that shooting.
Peterson was widely condemned for not confronting the shooter who murdered 17 people at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School.
I heard gunshots outside. I've been trained for 30 years. You take tactical cover, and that's exactly what I did.
Peterson contends that communication chaos amongst law enforcement agencies was the real problem on that fateful day, an explanation that many Parkland parents to this day don't buy. What do you say to them?
They don't know the truth.
Last year, prosecutors made the novel argument that Peterson failed students as their, quote, caregiver. He was acquitted in an emotional trial.
I was never legally defined as a caregiver to anyone in the school. And therefore, that element was never reached, and I never should have been charged with those 7 felony counts of child neglect.
Peterson says he will likely seek a new hearing on recollecting his legal fees, but BSO says it's not responsible for the payment. In the newsroom, I'm Jim Barry, CBS News Miami.
When we come back, we are months away from a new state law that bans people from sleeping in public places, but the City of Fort Lauderdale says it's addressing the homeless crisis right now. More on that next.
From South Florida, this is Headliners, only on CBS News Miami.
Welcome back. I'm Lauren Pastrana. On October 1st, a new state law goes into effect. It bans people from sleeping in public spaces. Already programs are in place to get those with no place to live a roof over their heads. Ted Scouten joins us again from Fort Lauderdale, where he went along with housing navigators.
Every day, our goal is just basically working our best to get as many people off the streets as we can.
We rode along with Kimberly Green from the Task Force for Ending Homelessness. She's a housing navigator.
The person that we're going to talk to, that we're going to try to meet up with, he actually wants to go to a rehab, but you know, sometimes he's for it, sometimes he's not. So we're going to go and see if he's ready to go in today.
When we got to the beach, he wasn't there, but Bob Michaels was. He goes by Bubba. Where do you sleep?
Across the street.
Just on the sidewalk, or?
No.
You have a place, a roof over your head? No, but it's just kind of, is it here and there? Or?
That's an overhang.
Bubba hasn't gotten housing yet, but as he waits, Vanessa, Samuel, and Kimberly make sure he's okay.
Even though we're working on housing, we still try to come in and check on them. It just don't end with housing. We still try to provide resources, give them hope.
Some of those resources come from community court. Every Wednesday, aside from judicial proceedings for minor offenses, groups that can help with health problems, housing, mental health issues, and the like set up shop for those in need.
Right now, I'm in the streets, was at the airport.
Ronald Garrett has been on the street since July. He's getting help from community court and the task force. He's hoping for a place to live, but is looking for something specific. What are you hoping for?
A place. Oh, they had places for me, but I don't want to live with nobody. I'm 80 years old.
It's a warm feeling. Your heart, it's melted.
For the task force, nothing feels better than getting someone off the street and into a home. Kimberly remembers one case well.
And we finally got him into his own apartment, and he cried. And I'm not a crier, but when he cried, it made me cry.
Those housing navigators aren't alone out there trying to get people off the street. The police department has a task force, as well as Broward County. In Fort Lauderdale, Ted Scout, CBS News Miami.
This month's relentless heat is not just affecting us, humans. Pets are also at risk, especially those at animal shelters. Viral video shows precautions being taken to keep pets cool at Miami-Dade Animal Services facility in Medley after reports of no AC. But as CBS News Miami's Chelsea Jones explains, the facility never had air conditioning in the first place.
And that is because for its entire existence, this facility here has been an open air facility. That's what the director tells me, which means they never had AC installed. But she says the only reason they have to use this facility at all is because of pet overpopulation. Pictures and video on social media calling for help for the animals inside the Medley shelter for Miami-Dade Animal Services. Several years ago, Animal Services opened a new air-conditioned main facility in Doral, but the Medley shelter is still used for overflow.
It was used for quarantining dogs that were going on a transport or dogs that were sick. And due to the overpopulation crisis that we have been experiencing since last year, we've been having to use the Medley facility as an overflow shelter.
Now, more than 100 dogs live here in Medley, and with this week's heat, they've had to make extra accommodations, like this picture on social media shows.
Volunteers putting ice in the buckets. That came at the request of our veterinarians who put in walking restrictions.
She says dogs are only being walked for 10 minutes in the morning and when the sun goes down at night. Pets are being monitored for heavy breathing and lethargy. Pools have also been used to keep the pets cool.
I know a lot of people on social media are saying, oh, I can donate a portable AC. I can do this, I can do that. But what's really going to help you guys here at this facility?
What's going to help us is for this community to help us stop bringing in pets to the shelter.
She says spaying and neutering pets is crucial to controlling the population. Chelsea Jones, CBS News, Miami.
When headliners return, see how the girls on Miami Palmetto Senior High's flag football team are making history and making lifelong memories too.
From South Florida, this is Headliners, only on CBS News Miami.
Welcome back. I'm Lauren Pastrana. Summer season is just about here, but before you hit the road, you might want to see the major traffic changes that are coming to Miami. There will be a full closure on eastbound State Road 836 beginning on Northwest 17th Avenue. CBS News Miami's Trish Christakis has all the details you need to know before the detours begin.
Traffic in South Florida can be a headache.
Past 5 years is worse.
Unfortunately, traffic might be getting even worse for the next 3 months, as there will be major closures on eastbound State Road 836. They start this Friday.
Constructing a bridge support structure that sits over all of the eastbound State Road 836 travel lanes just west of I-95.
There is construction happening in 3 different areas for this project, a project that's expected to be done in late 2027.
The entire project involves the double decking of State Road 836, concrete pavement replacement on I-95, and the total reconstruction of I-395, including a signature bridge.
All 3 highways meet at this interchange, and that interchange sees about 450,000 cars daily. So expect traffic.
It sucks. It's awful. I mean, I feel terrible because I'm spending so much time in the traffic.
Here's what you need to know. If you're driving eastbound on 395, traffic will be detoured to Biscayne Boulevard. You'll then head north to access the MacArthur Causeway.
There's a lot of growth in the state of Florida and particularly in Miami, so we're making sure that the capacity is there for all those folks that are coming in.
A good reminder is to check i395miami.com. You can sign up there for construction and detour updates to be sent to your phone. You can find that website by visiting ours at cbsmiami.com. In Miami, Trish Christakis, CBS News, Miami.
It's not every day you get to make history with some of your best friends, but that's what the Miami Palmetto Senior High flag football team got to do this month, and they are the first Miami-Dade County team to do it. CBS News Miami Samantha Rivera shares how they were able to push through some bumps along the way to reach their ultimate goal.
we're like sisters. We fight like sisters. We go over it like sisters.
At the beginning of the season, this Miami Palmetto Senior High flag football team had one goal in mind: win states. What they didn't know were the hurdles they'd have to overcome to get there, like beating the same team 3 times during the playoffs, beginning with their GMAC title.
We went into there knowing there was going to be a couple teams who were going to compete with us, a couple coaches that a couple of us know personally, so they know us personally, so it was going to be a little harder going into that game. I knew as a team we had it in the bag, stood on business. It was just about playing together.
From there, they won district, regional, and eventually made their way to states in Tampa. It was there where their star quarterback injured her finger at semis, with just one day to figure out a game plan for the championship game.
I was like, why now? Like, it's state semis. Like, this is not the time to be breaking stuff. Like, I need to focus. And the next day, I was like, I can move it. I can grip stuff. I'll be fine.
It was definitely, like she said, a moment where I was like, not now. Like, with all the success that she's had, this wasn't the time for it to happen. But that girl's tough. She said it. She said there's no way I'm going to miss out on the championship game.
But these girls pushed through adversity, determined to win state. A game-winning touchdown from junior Serenity Simon.
You know, like in the movies, like when it's a really, really big moment, like everything just goes mute. It was like everything went mute, and then as soon as I scored and I got up and I looked at everybody else, all the sound came back. And then it was just the joy on everybody's faces. It's a wonderful feeling.
The final score, 26-25. Palmetto becoming the first flag football team to win states in Miami-Dade County.
No one expected us to go as far as we did, and I think that making history showed everyone what we really are as a team.
At the end of the day, this group just wants young girls to realize not only can they do whatever they set their mind to, but they can be the best at it.
Do not ever give up. If someone tells you you can't do it, who cares? Tell them you can.
1, 2, 3, Nation! Samantha Rivera, CBS News Miami. Way to go, ladies. Thanks for joining us this half hour on Headliners. As always, keep it right here to CBS News Miami for up-to-the-minute breaking news and weather 24 hours a day. Make it a great one.